Africa's Great Plains are home to a truly remarkable creature, an animal whose very presence defines the landscape. This is the wildebeest, often called the gnu. At first glance, it appears to be a creature assembled from spare parts, a delightful and curious mix of features. The slender hindquarters of an antelope, the heavy forequarters of a buffalo, and a long, mournful face that seems almost comically mismatched with its powerful body. Their shaggy manes and beards give them a look of ancient wisdom, while their curved cow-like horns add an air of quiet strength. They are, in many ways, the clowns of the savannah, yet they possess a profound and gentle spirit that is often overlooked. Their appearance, so unique and distinctive, is a perfect adaptation for their life on the open grasslands. Their broad muzzles are designed for grazing on the short grasses that carpet the plains, allowing them to feed efficiently in vast numbers. The dark vertical stripes on their necks and shoulders act as a form of camouflage, breaking up their outline and making it harder for predators to single one out from the swirling mass of the herd. They are not built for elegance like a gazelle or for sheer power like a Cape buffalo. Instead, the wildebeest is built for one thing above all else: endurance. When you look into the eyes of a wildebeest, you see a quiet innocence, a gentle nature that seems at odds with the harshness of its environment. The wildebeest is an animal inextricably linked to the vast, open grasslands of eastern and southern Africa. Their home is the savanna, endless horizons, scattered acacia trees, seasonal rains. These grassy plains provide the perfect environment for them to thrive, offering the one resource they need above all else: grass. The Serengeti Mara ecosystem spanning Tanzania and Kenya is perhaps their most famous stronghold. Volcanic soils give rise to nutrient-rich grasses that fuel the largest land migration on Earth. The plains stretch out like a golden sea, providing sustenance and open sightlines needed to spot approaching danger. These habitats are not static. They are in a constant state of flux dictated by the rhythm of the wet and dry seasons. During the rainy season, the grasslands are transformed into a vibrant green carpet lush with new growth that provides abundant food. However, as the sun beats down and the dry season takes hold, the vibrant green fades to a parched yellow. The grasses wither and the waterholes shrink, forcing the wildebeest to begin their relentless search for greener pastures. The very openness of the savanna is both a blessing and a curse for the wildebeest, where life and death are played out every single day under the vast African sky. A typical day for a wildebeest begins at dawn, as the cool morning air settles over the plains. The herd rises together, a vast sea of bodies stirring to life. The primary focus of their day is simple: eating. Wildebeest are grazers, and they spend a significant portion of their waking hours with their heads bowed, methodically munching on short grasses. Their wide mouths allow them to consume large quantities of grass with each bite, an efficient adaptation for an animal that needs to fuel its large body for constant travel. They move slowly but deliberately across the plains, a moving tide of herbivores, their low grunts providing a constant, reassuring soundtrack to the business of grazing. These animals are incredibly social, and their lives are lived almost entirely within the context of the herd. This is not just a casual gathering, it is a highly organized and essential survival strategy. Living in a massive group provides protection through sheer numbers. With thousands of pairs of eyes and ears on alert, it is much more difficult for a predator to approach undetected. If danger is spotted, a wave of alarm spreads through the herd in an instant, triggering a mass stampede that can confuse and overwhelm even the most determined hunter. This collective vigilance allows individual wildebeest to graze with a greater sense of security than they ever could alone. The journey to a river or waterhole is a time of heightened vulnerability. Each year, the African plains bear witness to one of the most spectacular natural events on our planet, the Great Wildebeest Migration. This is not simply a journey, it is an epic circular pilgrimage driven by an ancient and irresistible instinct. Over 1.5 million wildebeest, hundreds of thousands of zebras, hundreds of thousands of gazelles embark on a relentless trek spanning more than 1,000 kilometers. This colossal movement is dictated not by a map or a leader, but by the primal search for food and water. It is a continuous cycle, a clockwise rotation through the Serengeti Mara ecosystem, following the life-giving rains and the fresh grass that springs up in their wake. The migration begins in the southern Serengeti plains of Tanzania, which serve as the wildebeest's calving grounds. Between January and March, the herds congregate here as the rainy season transforms the landscape into a lush nursery. In a remarkably synchronized event, over 500,000 calves are born within a few short weeks. As the rains in the south begin to fade around April and May, the grasses dry up, and the signal to move is triggered, consolidating into immense columns that can stretch for over 40 kilometers, and the Mara. These river crossings are legendary spectacles of chaos, panic, and raw determination, ensuring the continuation of their epic, year-long journey. The wildebeest is far more than just a passive inhabitant. It is a true architect of its environment, a keystone species whose presence fundamentally shapes the ecosystem. Their immense numbers and constant grazing reshape the landscape. Moving across the plains, their grazing is like a natural lawnmower trimming tall grasses to shorter, palatable lengths. This opens habitat for other herbivores, zebras, Thompson's gazelles. They prepare the dinner table for species that follow. As they graze, they fertilize the soil. Their dung returns vital nutrients, enriching the volcanic soils of the Serengeti and promoting the growth of new, healthy grasses. This cycle ensures the plains' long-term productivity. Millions of hooves trampling aerate the soil and press seeds into the earth, aiding germination. The herds are a mobile feast for predators: lions, spotted hyenas, leopards, cheetahs, African wild dogs, vultures, jackals. Dramatic river crossings inject nutrients into rivers. The health of the Mara River is partly sustained by this annual sacrifice. For a wildebeest, life is, well, a constant state of high alert. From the moment it is born, it is marked as prey, a vital link in the food chain that sustains Africa's great carnivores. The list of animals that hunt wildebeest is long and formidable. Danger can lurk behind any termite mound or patch of tall grass. The most powerful of these adversaries is the lion. Working together in prides, lions are masters of the ambush. They use teamwork to isolate and bring down even the largest adult wildebeest. They often hunt at dawn, dusk, or under the cover of darkness, using their exceptional night vision to their advantage, turning the peaceful plains into a landscape of fear. Another relentless predator is the spotted hyena. Often miscast as mere scavengers, hyenas are powerful and efficient hunters. Operating in large clans, they use remarkable stamina to run down prey over long distances, eventually overwhelming a wildebeest through sheer numbers and tenacity. The cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth, specializes on the open plains. The chase, an explosive burst of speed, over in seconds. Leopards, masters of camouflage, prefer ambush. The dangers are not confined to land. During migration river crossings, they face the Nile crocodile. These massive reptiles lie almost invisible in murky water. Ambush predators capable of snatching a fully grown wildebeest and dragging it under. From birth to death, predation shapes the wildebeest's life. While predators have been a part of the wildebeest story for millennia, they now face a new and honestly, more complex set of threats, brought on by a rapidly changing world. Perhaps the most significant of these is habitat loss and fragmentation. The vast open rangelands that the wildebeest depend on for their survival are shrinking. Human populations are expanding: settlements, farms, fences. These developments encroach upon traditional grazing areas, and more critically block the ancient migratory routes that are essential for the wildebeest's survival. A fence built in the wrong place can be as deadly as a pride of lions. Climate change is also casting a long shadow over the future of the wildebeest. Their entire life cycle is intricately synchronized with the seasonal rains. Unpredictable weather patterns, prolonged droughts, unusually intense and erratic rainfall, these patterns can disrupt this delicate balance. A severe drought can decimate the grasses that fuel the migration, weakening the herds. As livestock, particularly cattle, come into closer contact with wildlife due to shrinking habitats, the risk of disease transmission increases. Poaching, although less of a threat to wildebeest than to elephants or rhinos, it depends on our ability to protect these vast, interconnected landscapes. The wildebeest is more than just an animal. It is a force of nature, the thundering heartbeat of the African savanna. Its unique appearance, a charming collection of mismatched parts, belies a creature perfectly engineered for survival. Its life is a story of constant motion, an epic cyclical journey guided by the ancient rhythm of the rains. This great migration is one of the planet's most awe-inspiring spectacles, and a vital ecological process. It sustains the health of the plains, it feeds a nation of predators, it enriches the very soil upon which it treads. Their gentle, profoundly social nature is the key to their success. In the face of relentless danger, they find safety not in aggression, but in community. The herd is their fortress, a swirling, grunting mass of collective vigilance. Thousands of individuals move as one, synchronized birth of their calves on the southern plains. the terrifying, chaotic crossings of the Mara River. Their entire existence is a masterclass in cooperation and instinct. But this timeless spectacle now faces unprecedented modern threats. Their survival is linked to preserving vast unfenced landscapes. The freedom of one species to move is essential for the health of the whole. To witness the migration is to witness the raw, untamed spirit of Africa. The sound of their hooves on dry earth is the pulse of the continent. Their gentle, grunting calls are its voice. As long as the wildebeest continue their great pilgrimage, the heart of wild Africa will continue to beat strong. A powerful, enduring symbol of a world that is still truly wild.